Good morning and welcome to Sun Valley TV. I'm your host Brad Kane, and we're sitting here this morning on the banks of Silver Creek. And in all fairness, I got to tell you, we had a great show, recorded and canned, and yours truly ate it in editing and computers. And so we're retaking the preview. And since the preview, we've had a couple of fishing days. Don't you laugh, that's not funny. We've had a couple of fishing days, and it's classic upper mountain, high desert, spring weather. It's been blowing and raining and snowing and hailing. But we've caught some fish. It's been a great time on world-famous Silver Creek. And just like before, I'm sitting here with local legend guide Patty McElvoy from Sturtevant's Mountain Outfitters, who's been very, very gracious with me to come back out and film a second episode. So anyways, Patty, reintroduce yourself and tell the world who you are and how you came to fish Silver Creek.
You know, I'm Patty McElvoy. I moved to this valley to fish this river. When I graduated from college, like any good fishing bum, I went looking for the best fishing I could find. And I think right here in Sun Valley we have the best fly fishing in America. And the crown jewel of the Wood River Valley is this river right here, Silver Creek. This is one of the world's very, very finest spring creek fisheries, one of the best technical dry fly fisheries anywhere. And it's always a pleasure to be out here on the creek, whether I'm fishing myself or I'm guiding.
Awesome. Yeah, you know, I was out yesterday, and in the same day, we had balmy, calm sun, we had 40-mile-an-hour wind, we had torrential rain, we had mild drizzle, and we had some fish we caught. So
we had spring.
Yeah, we had spring, yeah, all in 15 minutes. So it was crazy. Patty, what do you think is the secret to Silver Creek? I mean, people I know coming here from out of town that spring creek fishing is always a bit intimidating and a bit daunting. You know, I'm pretty well prepared to go a day without catching a fish in studying and learning, but you know, how do you handle it with new people? What do you do with them, and what's the secret?
You know, generally the secret to catching fish on this river is patience, which is the secret in almost all fishing. Sure. But on this river in particular, the people who catch a lot of fish on this river are the people who approach the water slowly and cautiously and take their time figuring out an approach to a specific fish. A lot of times what we'll be doing on this river is sight fishing and head hunting. I'd say it's as much fish hunting as it is trout fishing, especially when we have rising fish. So it's much, much better to take your time, stop, observe a fish for a little while, try to figure out what it's doing, what its sight lines are, what it's eating, how it's eating, and then take the time to really slowly and quietly make a cautious approach and really make that first cast count. People who just run in and start shotgunning casts at every fish they see don't generally catch tons of fish on this river. That said, you know, this is not a river anyone needs to be intimidated by, Brad. Despite its fame for being the graduate school of American fly fishing, these are very catchable trout, and there's some really big, beautiful trout on this river that make that kind of challenging fishing worthwhile.
Yeah, over the last couple of days we've caught some really nice fish and seen some really nice fish, and it's early, and I think they are a little eager. I think you're right about that. And it's been interesting to watch the transitions with the fish. And since we're going to do an episode a week throughout the fishing season and the mountain bike season as what we're going to focus on this summer, primarily on Sun Valley TV, let's talk about what potential hatches we could be dealing with currently. I know the famous brown drake is somewhere on the future calendar in the next week or two.
It's coming.
Yeah, and I've got to be gone the 9th, 11th, and 10th, so you can't, 9, 10, and 11, you can't do it during that 3 days.
I'm going to say night of the 8th, we get the first emergence.
Yeah, watch, I'll be out of town.
I went to Alaska last year on the 10th, it popped on the 11th, so that's pretty likely.
Lovely. So right now we're kind of looking for some pale morning duns for you beginners. PMD is the acronym, little mayfly, that's typically a mid-morning, midday kind of a thing. There's been a few.
There's been a few,
but
more every day.
Yeah, the trout don't seem to be ultra keen on eating them.
No, they seem to be ultra keen on eating, of course, a little size 24 micro midge. You know, the thing to keep in mind with all trout, not just Silver Creek trout, is that fundamentally they're pretty lazy animals. Sure. You know, they have to be energy efficient. They spend their whole lives swimming into the current. So when there's 2 PMDs that they have to move 6 feet to eat, or there's 200 little micro midges that are coming right down into their nose. They're going to key to those micro midges, and that's part of their survival strategy on this river, is that they will key in not only to a specific insect, they'll key to a very specific life stage of that insect. They won't just be eating PMDs, they'll be eating PMD emergers or the duns or the spinner. So it's very important as a fisherman to, once going back to that taking time to figure out what a fish is doing thing, to figure out what bug and what stage of life of that bug your particular fish is keyed in on. Sometimes that's some trial and error. Sometimes it's super obvious, right. Which is nice but rare.
Yeah, adults on top.
Adults on top. Yeah. But we're looking at steadily more PMDs every day. I would say as soon as it warms up, we're going to have some PMDs. Probably same with the brown drakes. It's a water temperature thing. Get down here for drakes, guys. It's worth it. You can sleep when you're dead. It's a middle of the night hatch, but who cares? It's life-changing fishing when it goes off. Very, very large bugs. We might even try a drake blind in here a little bit this morning, just because it's getting into that season where they're going to start looking for them.
Got our buddy the muskrat here somewhere.
Yeah, muskrats. Lots of muskrats, lots of beavers, lots of deer, lots of moose. I mean, fishing aside, this is some of the best wildlife watching in the world down here. World-class birding. It's not only an awesome fishery. Silver Creek is an awesome place to just be, especially early in the season right now, where the animals and the fish haven't seen a lot of humans for a while.
Yeah, predatory fish that eat for a living, all the way up the food chain to a mountain lion, they really have small brains and one-track minds. And their balance system is about calories spent and calories earned. And they'll expend the least amount of energy possible to get the highest caloric intake. Otherwise, they die. It's pretty straightforward. So,
individual fish as they grow will change their primary food a lot. One of the things this river is famous for are really, really big brown trout. And once browns pass that 20-inch mark, they're not making their living on size 20 mayflies anymore. A hatch like the brown drakes will certainly bring them to the surface. Sometimes really heavy trico hatch, really heavy PMD hatch will bring them up. But generally, they're eating big, big chunks of protein. Yeah. Other fish, rodents, ducklings, birds, if they can get their mouth around it, they'll pretty much eat it.
Kill it. Yep.
Everybody should try night fishing on this river at least once. You might get skunked. You might also catch the biggest brown trout of your life.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to a heck of a season at Silver Creek, and I know that your guide schedule's already starting to get booked.
It's getting there.
We had a guide meeting since we met last for the whole group at Third Events, and I was fortunate enough to attend that. And everybody's ready, gang. It's going to be a heck of a season no matter where you live in the world. We want you to make sure, watch this blog, keep your eyes posted to it every single week. We'll do a weekly update in the fishing report. Whether we're doing a mountain biking show or a wellness festival show won't matter. The fishing gods are shining bright on us this spring. We're happy about it. Snow is gone. We're just waiting for
gone-ish.
Gone-ish. We're just waiting for the weather to come to us and jump on a plane, come out to Sun Valley, and spend some time with us. So we'll take a segue here and a little bit of a break, and we'll come back in just a minute and finish up for today.